Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another episode of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I am your host, Crimson Cavalier. In our last episode, we did some more collecting. We have now all three medallions, the cape, the cane, the flute, and enough pieces of heart containers to tackle on this next dungeon. We also have an extra bottle that we filled with red potion. So, we can now go to the second dark temple, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Let me unequip the medallion. I don't want to waste. Well, not that I can use it anyway. I have no magic. Regardless of that, we're heading over to the dark temple now. This dark temple is the Swamp Temple, and it is a bit harder than the first one. It'll actually be the toughest temple we've encountered so far. Now, I will say one more thing. If you're so inclined, you can continue to collect rupees and continue to head over to the Fountain of Happiness and keep getting arrows and bombs to your heart's content. I'm actually satisfied with the amount that I have right now, so I'm not going to be doing that. I don't think anymore. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing it at all. I don't think I'm going to run out of 40 bombs and 40 arrows at this point, but if I end up doing it, I mean, I'll at least mention it if I don't do it on camera. There is one more thing, however, that we can do right before we go into the swamp. It's not absolutely necessary, because we would have done this no matter what eventually. But I guess this is a good time as any to do it. We're actually going to collect one more piece of heart. And we're going to do it by stepping into this ring of rocks here. Here's another one of those enemies. You know what? Forget it. I'm not even going to try to defeat him. Here's another ring of rocks that clearly depicts a place where you can head into the light world again. And we're in that platform that you may have seen before. We kill this guy. Maybe he'll give me one of those full magic bars. He does not. That's okay. So we have the piece of heart. Wow. That was bad luck. So there's nothing for us to do but actually head back and try to get back into the light world, dark world, another way, since that way is clearly not going to work for us right now. That is actually pretty ridiculous. I can't believe that happened. Anyway, we're going to head back to the main castle, to Hyrule Castle. I really hate how they can spot me before I've even actually fully walked into the screen. It's really annoying, but whatever. I'm actually going to walk into my house really quickly and collect some hearts from the pots that are in the house, just so I'm not going into the dark world with such little amount of life. Because if you've been playing along, or if you've noticed, it is a lot tougher. The enemies are a lot harder, and they do a lot more damage. Let's just get in there. Back at the dark world. We're heading to the swamp. And we're going to try to waste no time. Of course, as we've done in the past with the little hammer, we're going to knock down those pegs. And we're just going to sprint on over to the swamp. Now, it's true I don't have any life, any magic, but right now that's not going to bother me. So we are going to blow this hole in this wall here. Go ahead and go inside. And inside, since we're here, there's no point in not doing it. We're going to go ahead and get the rupees from this mouse-looking guy. Alright, now that we've collected those rupees, we're almost at full capacity. So at this point, if you did want to go back and collect the rest of the stuff that you can from that ferry, it's perfectly okay to do so. Like I said, I don't really think it's necessary to have, I think it's 75 arrows and I forget how many bombs or something like that. I think it's overkill, but it's nice to have. I'm not saying it isn't, but it's not really necessary in my opinion. Alright, the first thing we need to do here, we're actually going to head back to the light world one last time. Alright, heading into this weird looking temple thing, there are two things we're going to do. Number one, we're going to collect these bombs. Why not? Alright, leave, come back in. And I did it wrong. So alright. What I meant to do was this. We're gonna head over here. We're going to pull this lever and we're gonna open the doors and releasing the water. Now if you recall, actually I haven't mentioned this yet, but things that happen in the dark world happen in the light world as well, and vice versa. There's a piece of heart. So now the pond is drained. Now you take that fish and you throw him into deep water, he'll give you 10 rupees. I'm not really interested right now. But like I mentioned, anything that happens in one world will happen in the other. You'll notice this swamp is also drained. Now what did that do? That actually filled this channel full of water. If we had come in here before, we would have found that dry. And we can read this tile, which is pretty much Sahasrara telling us that objects exist simultaneously in both worlds with similar shapes. If the form of one thing changes, it will affect the shape of its twin in the other world. So like I mentioned, anything that happens in the light world happens in the dark world and vice versa. So now we have these water-walking, insect-looking creatures that can actually be quite annoying because they will hunt you down. They will follow you to the ends of the earth to hit you. We also have this new enemy that is like a water creature, water elemental creature that forms out of the swamp water and chases you around the room. Some of the enemies in this level, the reason this is such a tough level in my opinion is that the enemies are really unforgiving. There are so many enemies all at the same time. They all come at you. It's really a tough level. So what I'm going to do is wait for those guys to disappear. Go down here and grab that key as quickly as possible, engaging the enemies as little as I can. Now this little golden item looking thing in the middle, actually every time you use your sword, I could just hit the stupid Stalfos Knight. Every time you use your sword, it shoots fire. A little fireball. So, there you go. Use your sword at your own risk. Alright, well, there's nothing to do here except grab the key from this skull. Now, like I said, I hate this level. However, it does contain a very, very important and very useful item. So, I mean, whatever. There's a lot of water, being that this is the Swamp Temple, and water plays an important part and as a theme. So, go ahead and fill that. We can place a bomb, and we will. Before moving on. Now that the water is filled, we can actually move on. Before I do, I think I might have missed something. So I'm actually going to head back really quickly. And I may have missed something in this room. I want to get rid of that guy first. Yes, there's a crack in that wall. We're going to go ahead and bomb it. Oh yeah, look at these guys, the gels. If you remember these from the original Zelda, that's really cool. It's just the map. I forgot. And as you guys know by now, I don't really care for the map much. But for the sake of completing, you know, getting all the treasure chests, I didn't actually remember what was in it, so it's not the end of the world. But now that this is full of water, we can actually jump in here and move on to the next room. This is the main room of the level. I will show you the map. A lot of branching off from this main central room. It also contains the treasure chest that will be containing the treasure of this level. Now from the side, those holes inside of the room, those leech-looking guys, they'll pop out. You know, those are kind of annoying. But they often do have good rupees. Sometimes. Now, while we're up here, we can't be damaged by, you know, these enemies. So it's a good place if you want to rest. I forget which one of these. There's one of these statues where the tongue is pullable. So I don't exactly remember which one it is. So for right now, we're just going to try to pull them all. Well, let's go ahead and go into this room up here. And let's use the pots to kill the Stalfos and try not to use our sword. Alright, we have a key. So before we flood, let's see, how does this work? No, you can't push these, you have to swim over them. So actually I went the wrong way to start off with. We're actually headed up here, now that we have that key. Is this a pushable? That is not a pushable. Alright, that releases the water. And we want to leave the blue tiles down so we can actually come this way and take the short way around. Right now, the main thing we want is the big key. As soon as we find the big key, we're going to be okay. Come on, just, you know what? We don't have to bother with him currently. Now you can kill those water elementals with your sword. Using your sword just kind of destroys them. Now this one you can push. This is the one you can push. It looks exactly the same, so you'll forgive me for confusing them. There's nothing wrong with killing the gels. Alright. I really would like to get these guys to kind of sneak in here so I can kill them from here. Ugh. Now something I just did that is probably not a smart thing to do is I took all of the hearts from this area. I should have saved a couple because, as I said before, as I've mentioned in the past, using them all, they don't respawn. The hearts are gone, so that skull pot, you know, is useless now. And I made the mistake of jumping down the wrong. So hopefully, if I remember correctly, and I'm not remembering too well, but hopefully that other treasure chest contains the big key we're looking for. That was a really close one. Incorrect. So essentially we need to go back. Back to the room with the orb that changes the floor tiles, which is right north of here. And we need to go ahead and switch that up. Meaning that we're going to have to take the long way. But it doesn't matter. Hopefully, we're not just headed toward the compass. That would make me upset a little bit. So hopefully this is actually something we need, such as the big key. With big key in hand, you know, everything's going to be a lot easier. I don't know why I just jumped down this hole. I don't know what I'm doing. I meant to jump down the other hole, obviously. All right, once more. Walking over here, jumping into the hole we meant to jump into. Grabbing pots is a habit. I know it didn't do anything, but this one actually does have things we... And voila, we've got the big key. So at least in the end, it was not a complete waste of time. We actually came and got what we wanted. And now we can grab that item I've been mentioning throughout. A very important key item. I don't think I broke all these pots, but it looks like I did. So let's not waste any time. It is indeed boing the hook shot. It extends and contracts, and boing, it can grapple many things. This, ladies and gentlemen, may be the coolest item in the game. Not only like the boomerang, can you grab items with it, but you can defeat enemies. Not only can you defeat enemies, but you can grab onto things like treasure chests, little pots and skulls like this, And look, we've grabbed ourselves a key. Such a useful item, really. I don't know why my shield didn't block that. That's quite annoying. Regardless, let's make our way up here. And let's see what we can find. Now, this is cool. Guess what? These guys can be killed with the hookshot. They can be killed with the hookshot. That means you don't have to worry about electrocuting yourself. I'm going to be very upset if this is the way to get to the... Nope, this is not the one I thought it was. I really don't want to go get the compass. I hope this is the way to the boss. Ugh. So what I actually wanted to do, it seems, slowly we're getting oh, yes. Well, here's another little mistake I made. This switch actually opens both doors. Wow, I just completely walked into that. Alright. The problem with the hookshot is that it doesn't really go into the wall. So if the enemy is kind of in that kind of a spot where you can't really reach it with the hookshot, you are going to have to use the sword. Ugh, rupees that I don't need. What a shame. Well, now that we've drained, this actually takes us back upstairs, and I don't really want to go there right now. I think I am going in the right direction, so let's just keep pressing forward. I don't exactly remember if any of these are pushable, but even if they're not, we are still in the right place. Yeah, there we go. Well, unfortunately, that was just a rupee that we didn't need. We really don't need to be in here either. I don't think there's anything. Actually, sometimes they do hide keys under the pod, so it won't hurt. Although it seems like it was a complete waste. Well, we're at full everything except magic. We're just going to go ahead, make our way over to the second to last waterfall, and go through it. I don't think I can reach these with my sword, so... Dang it. These guys are really obnoxious, and there's nothing I can do to get rid of them. So... Now the reason I'm doing this, I really want to get my magic meter all the way up. If I can collect some of these little magic filling pots. I really... Come on, Link, swim. Alright. There we go. Now we can finish the level. Okay. A lot tougher than it seemed. Alright. Once we head in here, we're going to start fighting the final boss of this level. He's not that hard. Equipped with what we have, the way he's defeated, if I could just stop from getting hit. As you can see, he's a giant eyeball that is surrounded by these giant pastry-looking things. Once they start rotating like that, move out of the way. Snag these guys with your hookshot one at a time. Stay as far away from them as you can. And just one by one, hit them with your sword. Take them away. Take his little protection. There's really not much else to say. This is what you're going to do over and over until you finally destroyed all of them. You don't want to get too close to him, or it, or her. I don't know. What do you guys think? And you kind of do have to hit them with the hookshot. You can't just throw the hookshot out there and expect it to automatically grab thing. Alright, with one left, it shouldn't be too much more trouble. Got him. What a good shot. With all of his little creatures gone, he's going to start flying around the room. He's going to try to land on top of you. And he's going to start bouncing around the room. Easily enough, you can kill him really quickly with the ice rod, which is kind of why I wanted to be at full magic. Really not necessary, but kind of nice. And I made it without dying. I'll go ahead and take a piece of heart container and collect the second crystal. And our second maiden. Link, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. The Triforce will grant the wishes of whoever touches it, as long as that person lives. That is why it was hidden in the Golden Land. Only a select few knew of its location. But at some point, that knowledge was lost. The person who rediscovered the Golden Land was Ganondorf, the evil thief. Luckily, he couldn't figure out how to return to the light world. Well, remember that you have magical powers which only the hero can make the most of. There are some other magical warping points, like the one you saw on Death Mountain. By using them, you can go between the two worlds and find the evils hidden in the dark world. You are the only one who can destroy Ganondorf, the thief. No, Ganon, the evil king of darkness. Do you understand? Yes, I do. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. With that, we are at full health, full magic, and we didn't even have to use any of our fairies, any of our potions. We have the hookshot, and now so much more of this world is available to us, and we will tackle that in the next episode of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Hope to see you then.